On to our worked examples now. So the first one is actually asking us to find the length of the arc. So just a reminder, this is our pizza crust. Okay, so it's just the one on the outside. So we're not finding the full perimeter of our sector, which is this entire thing. We're just finding this particular portion. And we take into account the angle and its radius. Okay, so quick little recap for our formula. Really important to write down your formula every single time. For our length of our arc, we do whatever our angle is, divided by 360. And then we multiply that by the radius. Sorry, we multiply that by our circumference of our circle, which is our standard formula of 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by r. So let's see what information we do have from this particular question. So first things first, I can see that I do actually have my angle. So my angle here is actually 90 degrees. So let's substitute that in. So my angle here is 90 over 360. And then I can continue to write any remaining things that I already know the amounts of. The next one I have to worry about is the radius. So let's see what our radius is. Having a look back here, my radius is, let's do a different color, is 20 centimeters. So I can substitute it into here. So my radius here is 20 centimeters. Okay, so I know my answer is going to be in centimeters overall. Once I put that all into the calculator, this one here in particular, 90 over 360 is actually a quarter. So that can be simplified. But once I plug that all into my calculator, and remember to put some brackets around these when you're doing the calculator, I will end up with my answer of 125.66 centimeters. And for this one, I want it to the nearest centimeter because I've got it here on my diagram that says, doesn't say, but it implies that it needs to be to the nearest centimeter. So if I'm doing it to the nearest centimeter, my answer will then be 126 centimeters, and you can write in brackets to the nearest centimeter. Now we can hop on to our next question. So again, similar process. We know we are finding our arc length. Okay, so let's put down our formula and substitute in exactly how we did before. So we've got whatever our angle is divided by 360 to find our part. Then we multiply it by our circumference of our circle. So let's have a look at the information we have. We have a couple of things. I have my radius, which is 3.1. And I also have my angle, which in this one is 60 degrees. Let's now do exactly as we did up here. We substitute it in and then go from there. So we've got our angle, which was 60. So 60 divided by 360, multiplied by 2, multiplied by pi, multiplied by our radius, which was 3.1 centimeters. And again, make sure when you're putting this into the calculator, you put brackets around these and then you can multiply as normal. Once I put that into the calculator, I end up with the following answer. I end up with 3.2 centimeters, and that is to 1 decimal place. Reason I did to 1 decimal place is because my answer for my question actually stated my radius in 1 decimal place, so I'll do the same here. Now let's hop on to our second example. This one we are finding our perimeters. So keep in mind what you are doing at any given time to make sure that you have the correct thing that you are looking for. This time we are looking for perimeters. So let's see what we can do for the perimeter. So perimeter, keep in mind, is the entire outside. So if I'm doing my perimeter, I'm just going to do it in orange so you can see. If I'm doing my perimeter, I'm doing this entire thing. And for this one, I'm doing all of this. And we'll get to this second question in a moment. So let's go through how to approach these. So again, if I'm finding the perimeter, first thing I can see is this is a sector because it's part of a circle, so I know that this side is the same as this side. So those two sides will be the same, so I'm going to mark them as the same. So I've got 7 centimeters and 7 centimeters. So that's what I've got so far. So I can already add to my answer that I've got 7 plus 7. And let's refer back to, let's refer back to our formula for finding the perimeter of our sector. So if I've got my pizza, I have to worry about a couple of things. I have to worry about this line plus all of this. So these ones are easy to find. This, we need to go back to our arc length. So our arc length is actually L. Let's do it in orange so you can see it. So I've got L equals my angle divided by 360 multiplied by 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by my radius. So let's put all of that in. So in this case, I have my angle is 220 and my radius is 7 centimeters. Let's put that all in. And once we do that, so we've got 220 over 360 multiplied by 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by my 7 gives me an answer for my arc length of 26.87 centimeters. But I'm not done. I have to find my perimeter. So my perimeter is going to be this number plus 7 plus 7. So it's this number plus 2 lots of my radius. So let's put that into our answer note. So I've got 26.87 plus 7 plus 7. So remember that these two are our 2 lots of our radius, which gives me my answer for my perimeter as then 41 centimeters, and that's to 1 decimal place. On to our next question. So, one that we've got here. Again, you just have to think this is one of those composite shapes. So we have to think a little bit more nimbly with this one. First thing I can see is I can actually kind of see that this side and this side are the same. So I'm going to add that number in first. So include your unknowns first. Next thing I can see is that this is a semicircle. So, okay, this is another semicircle. And I've also been given my amount here, which would be my diameter. So I actually have half of a circle and half of a circle. If I add those two together, I actually end up with a full circle. So I can just use my lovely formula to do for my circumference of a circle. And I have my diameter too. This one's looking a lot easier than I thought. So again, to find my perimeter for this one, I'm going to add all of the ones together. So I've got this one, and I'm going to do these two. Again, if you had something a little bit more annoying, say it was like this instead, this you would take as a semicircle, so that would be a degree of 180 degrees, and then you go from there as we have straight up the top here. But for this one's a little bit nicer to us. So I'm going to add my two sides together that I already know, which is my 8 and my 8. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add my arc lengths. And again, remember I said this arc length and this arc length together gives me a full circle. So my circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So let's put that in. So 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by r, and my r value in this case I don't exactly have, but I do have something that I can do. So I actually have my diameter. Okay, so I have to find, so if I've got my diameter equals 4 centimeters, to find my radius I do my diameter divided by 2. So my radius is actually 2 centimeters. Now I can write in my answer because I can now substitute this 2 centimeters into here. And let's just color code that so we have it there for us. So let's put it in. So I've got my perimeter of 8 plus 8 plus 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by 2, which when I put it into the calculator, remember that you have brackets here as well because it will change it otherwise. When I put this into the calculator, I end up with 28.56 centimeters, and we're going to do it to the nearest centimeter, so we end up with 29 centimeters. Sorry, this is 0 decimals. Okay, and we are done. Hopping on to your questions now.